that's actually some of our favorite clients. They're like subtle luxury. They want quality. They want things that fit them well, that complements their lifestyle, but they're not trying to wear the big name across their chest, and they're not trying to broadcast it.
Yeah.
But because the people that know, they'll know. You know what I mean? I'll give you a small example. Like this is a custom piece that was gifted to me by one of our tailors. So these buttons here are what you call functional buttons.
Okay.
So custom pieces have them come standard. But most suits or jackets, these are fake buttons.
Yeah.
So the people that know custom, as soon as they see my button, they know.
Yeah.
But it's not flashing here, Meraki Allure. It's not flashing my name. No, it doesn't need to.
It doesn't need to.
Feel the jacket, you'll know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You feel the jacket, you'll know.
Good afternoon and welcome back to the Same Business, Different Day podcast. I'm your host, Zeke Corley. Happy to be here today in this beautiful place, the beautiful Film Hub with two beautiful gentlemen and return guests. So like we do sometimes, we bring back guests that we had in past seasons. And you know what? We had a whole season named after them at one point in time. So for those of you guys that don't know, we are welcoming Cissé and Javan Reyes back to the show. Now, Mo and Javan are with Meraki Allure, and they've got to come back and tell us, what they've been up to lately. So now we get to experience this new studio, this beautiful place, and kind of just discuss it through. You guys remember that first episode that we did?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was back in January 22. That was the first episode we did, January 2022.
Man.
Yeah.
Time flies.
Time does fly, man.
Literally over a year now. That's crazy.
We should go back and look at it. I mean, it might be in black and white.
Standard, not HD. Yeah, right? Yeah.
They can see your pores much more clear now.
Yeah, it's a good thing I shaved a day.
Yeah. Man, really welcome back, man. Really appreciate you guys being here.
Thank you so much for having us. It's a great pleasure. I love the upgrades here, and thanks to your entire team for really making this always a warm welcome for us. So we appreciate coming.
I gotta pick that up from you, man. I love it because, you know who else is great at this? Wasim. He's really good at this, at giving a shout out to the team. I always forget to give a shout out to the team. My head's down and they've been grinding so much, man. But shout out to the team. Thank you, Mateo, and all of you guys, man. Really making us look good over here. So, I was thinking back. I listened to the episode this morning, like I told you, the January last year episode, and I was thinking back to a number of great nuggets that came out of that show and actually inspired me, like I said, to make a whole season out of that show. And the one of the snippets I think that got the most run that we pulled out of that show actually came from Javan. And that was the one where he took his alarm clock outside and beat it with a sledgehammer. That's when you knew, hey, I'm in some level of success now because I don't have to be a slave to this clock anymore.
100%. Yeah. It was, and I love what Mo's mentioned in the past. It's you got to be able to enjoy those stages in life.
That's right.
Even if it seems like a small victory, a victory is a victory, right? Or just getting to that next level. So that was just great to be able to do.
That's beautiful. Yeah. Another snippet we had was how the name came about.
The story.
Right? Your nephew, right? Tell us that story again.
Yeah, man. I'm super proud of him. I was just hanging out with him yesterday. He's 22 now, and he's 6'9".
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he plays basketball at his college. But yeah, he was 13 at the time.
Yeah.
When we launched, we were in the process of launching Meraki Allure at that time.
Yeah.
So some of my dear friends and Javan were like, why don't you use your name, Cissé, just like a lot of luxury brands do.
Yeah.
So for me, I wanted to build something that would outlive all of us. Something that when people read, it could inspire them.
Right.
So after 3 months of looking for names, I couldn't find anything. So I will never forget, this was back in 2015 on a Wednesday evening, and I'm at my brother's house hanging out with my nephew. I tell him, I said, hey, man, we're trying to find cool words that have great meaning.
Yeah.
24 hours later, the boy showed me the word Meraki and 3 other names. And as soon as I read the meaning of it, I fell in love with it. And again, the meaning is to do something with love. Whenever you put a piece of yourself in your work. And again, that's why I congratulate your team and anyone that truly is trying to live up to that passion and do something that's worthwhile for them is Meraki.
That's it.
You know, so that goes for the Film Hub, that goes for the team, that goes to what you do and your multitude of services you offer. But at the end of the day, it's all about elevating and helping people's lives to improve that. So that's why we always appreciate our connection with you, especially as unplanned that it was initially.
Sure.
But to be able to be intentional and come back together and say, you know what, we're going to stay in touch, but we're going to try to also add value to each other over time.
That's right.
So yeah,
I appreciate that. Well, I'm living in my Meraki, man.
Literally, man.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You know, I want to give a little bit of the lineup because Mo just kind of spoke about how we met, you know, and just came together. But a little bit of the lineup of who came through that season after that. Now, they were also, I think, all of these folks, maybe besides maybe one person was actually at that dinner where I met you, right?
Yeah.
And it's such a brilliant thing because we talk about the circle, right?
Yeah.
Who do you have in your networking circle, right? We spoke about it a couple episodes ago. You hang around with 9 broke friends, you're going to be the 10th one. You hang around with 9 successful people, you're going to be the 10th one, right? And so who's in your circle? And so to be in this, and I'm not talking about necessarily that we're, you know, at some Hollywood dinner when we're just surrounded by a bunch of successful actors or something like that. I'm saying that these are just particularly successful in their own right people doing their own business. So let me give you this lineup from the season. Obviously, Mo and Javan. Now, Angela Quach.
Yep. We're going to be seeing her on Wednesday.
Amazing business person, right? Wasim Hajiri, who I just spoke about. I love the work that he does, and he's been on this show 3 times, but he was on that season as well. Shanice Benson.
Oh, yeah.
Man,
Powerhouse.
I've never seen anyone, well, you know what? She really kind of schooled me on social media partnerships. You know?
She masters that. She masters it.
Amazing. Charmaine Maxipo.
I love her soul. She's a beautiful, amazing woman.
Yes, no, without a doubt. Here's another one. Gian and Brett.
Oh, yeah.
We sat with them for 2 hours.
Wow. Power couple.
2 hours, a great couple, some great stories. That was a 2-part episode.
Wow.
Awesome. That same season. Viviana Oropeza. Attorney in Heels.
The attorney, awesome.
Attorney in Heels. The powerful William P. Toom.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
The inspirational Corinne LeBrun.
I love her.
Right?
Yeah.
And then the just amazing artistic couple we ended up the season with, Amir and Tracy Smith.
I look up to them so much because, especially as a newlywed myself, they are the couple I would love to spend more couple time with them. And that's just the way they've raised their family, the way they just treat people.
That's right.
Genuine.
True, genuine. So, yeah, man. That's
what about that lineup?
Just hearing that just expands my gratitude for today. Because the reason I say that is because you alluded to earlier about the importance of circle. And for some people listening to this, you may not know the power of your circle until you're around the wrong people. So for us, we already know what that's like. That's why we take our inner circle or we take our relationships with people so seriously now. Because if once you build that connection with people, it's like a beautiful high. Because you don't walk away from the relationship feeling drained. Like you're just watering each other. Hey, man, what's going on with you? Oh, yeah? Okay, let me connect you to this. Wasim is an expert at that.
That's right.
Then what do you need? Oh, yeah? Okay, let me think about that. Okay, here's the contact for you.
Yeah.
But just from a place of just pouring into each other.
Yeah.
And that to me is one of the things that I continue to really grow, very grateful for, especially when I hear you talk about these relationships, especially because of how I met these individuals.
Right.
It was all like unplanned.
Yeah.
Just being at the right place at the right time, but being intentional and having a present conversation with someone that led to something else.
That's right. That's right.
You know what I mean? Like, so here, I'll build a really interesting connection for you real quick.
Okay.
So I know you because of our mutual friend, Sammy.
Right.
But I met Sammy because of William Patum.
Okay.
William Patum, I met him because of a fraudulent business guy that wanted to take advantage of local business owners in San Diego. I met William helped save me and other people, local business, from doing a bad business deal. So in this environment of this craziness, I met such a beautiful soul that has led me to all of these other relationships. I would have never met you if it wasn't for that crazy instance.
Right. That's amazing, man. Thanks for putting that together. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. How do you use your networking circle, Javan? I mean, how?
So it takes practice. You know, it's not. I always compliment Mo on how great he is at networking and connecting. But you can't plan some of these connections. You know, a lot of these. The way we met Wasim was a last minute networking event that he wasn't even sure that he wanted to go. It was just like, hey, you know what? You should just go because you never know. And it was within the last 10 minutes of being there is when you met Wasim. Yeah. Right? It's like, and then with Mo and I, we connected. We used to sell insurance together years ago, and we just vibed well. And that's the other. So that's the initial thing when connecting with like-minded and great souls is that connection in the beginning, you know, and you can tell based on the interaction, this can be a long-term relationship. And so it's definitely something that I've had to practice more because I have my inner circle of people that I'm so tight with, but also so personal with that I don't let anybody else in. Yeah. And I've been learning over the years to expand that and to do better with networking and finding those bridges and connecting with the right people. So, and then also too, everything's energy. So like Mo and I talked about many times, it's very crucial on who you associate with, because that can not only from a personal standpoint, that can affect how you are and how you are with around them, but also to who else you let in that circle and how you connect with people. So it all comes back to energy.
Makes sense, because they could drain you. Yeah, and that's the last thing you need, the negative folks in your circle. Yeah. I appreciate that. I appreciate how you guys are using your circle, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
Yeah. It's a pleasure, man.
100%, man. And whatever we can do to help expand it the right way, then you know, we're here for it.
Yeah. I'm excited. We got a lot to build on for the future. Who you are in the Film Hub in this particular location. Yeah. I feel like there's a lot that we can definitely do together in the near future. So I'm excited. Yeah.
I already told you, I don't say no, man.
All right, we're starting a TV show tomorrow. I don't know when we're going to get the time for it, but it's happening.
You always find the time for the things that you love to do.
Just on that note real quick, though, it's learning, too, when it's okay to say no. You know, when it's okay to be like, okay, we can be friends, but we're going to start off slow. So bringing it into relationships, but also into saying yes all the time versus it's okay to say no. You know, so that's
well, too. I'll take that class from you later. So one of the things I definitely, obviously, what, you know, these return shows is about is finding out what has changed. You mentioned getting married. I know that was a long time coming, so congratulations.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate that.
I remember that process. So awesome, man. I'm really happy for you. But what else has changed for you guys in business and life since beginning of last year?
Since our last show, man, we created an image consultant position for the business.
What does that mean?
So image consultant. So essentially what Mo does, we're thinking about it, I'm like, okay, being a business owner, everybody knows this about being a business owner. You're wearing so many hats.
Mhm.
And it's like, okay, how do I leverage other people's passion that are aligned to help us drive this machine? And I don't know why we didn't think about this years ago, but creating a position as a stylist, image consultant, someone that does exactly what Mo does, meets with a client, gets to know them, gets to know their likes, dislikes, all of that, building their wardrobe, helping them out, and getting them, you know, to feel confident and love what they wear, and then duplicating that. So we created an image consultant role where we not only ended up bringing on image consultants. I mean, we had close to 30 at one time, but it also opened other doors too. We can talk about that later. But we have image consultants in multiple states and across the world now. And so with that type of vision or that type of platform, now it's not like we're in a rush to open a brick and mortar store like most typical businesses. From the pandemic to now, a lot of things have been done online. A lot of that communication has been online or one-on-one in person. So with having this image consultant role, it's personalizing the stylist experience, elevating that lifestyle experience directly to the client. And now we can duplicate that. So now if his calendar is full, we have other image consultants that can help out with that, right?
I do.
And
you know what? When I was going to say what you said early on caught my ear, and I know you guys can speak to this because this is important. You know, with our audience of entrepreneurs or potential entrepreneurs, right? Is you said, why didn't we think about that before? Right? Yeah. You know, if we could have all thought about everything before, you know, we'd be successful on day one of the business, right? But even if you got a successful business, you still have to be adaptable and allow that business to grow, right? And so this came to you, and then you added that to the repertoire.
No,
make sense?
You hit the nail on the head when you talk about being adaptable, especially coming out of a pandemic. Being able to adapt and pivot. So us having the image consulting was a big change, a great opportunity for us. But the other two major things that we did was right after we met with you last year, we sponsored a small film in LA, and for basically the film is called Mother-in-Law. It will be launching this year, where we dress the actors on the movie. So that was a great experience for us to be on set of a film. We just went and saw the premiere this past Saturday. So to watch the big screen and see actors wearing your clothes, that was a really humbling experience.
Hello, friends. I'm Joe Samo. I'm an attorney in San Diego, and I'm the host of Run It By My Lawyer. It's a great podcast where you will learn a lot about the law, and it is very entertaining, if I say so myself. And you could get it for free anywhere you get your podcasts, and you could follow us on Instagram at Run It By My Lawyer.
The Film Hub is the future of co-working in downtown Vista. Get energized in an inspiring work environment that is built for your success. With multiple membership options for workspace and private offices, you can become a part of our co-working community. The Film Hub makes it easier to produce the professional content your business needs. From video production, live streams, photo shoots, or in-person events, you can create all this and more in our audio and video facilities. Love your work and where you accomplish it. The Film Hub.
And then the other part now is for the first time, we've launched our subscription model, where people now can basically choose the tier of membership that they want to have access to ready-to-wear custom clothing, no matter where they are in the country. As Javan alluded to, a lot of our consultation nowadays is online anyways, but we can still meet people face-to-face and do their wardrobe consultations. But so basically from opening the doors for the first time to duplicate myself as an image consultant, to sponsoring small films and eventually bigger films
Yeah.
to our subscription model. Those will be definitely the three main things that have been the biggest changes since the last time we've been.
Yeah. That's brilliant. You know, that's also a good watermark for our audience to think about, is that you're getting somewhere in business when you got to duplicate yourself. It's just, and you have an opportunity to do so and grow from there. You know, one of the things though that I remember from the earlier episode that you mentioned, and it really caught my ear, was talking about not trying to grow too fast and kind of really being true to what it is that your goals actually were. And what you said, Mo, you were saying, like, you know, we could be rich already if we would just go buy some clothes from China and just sell them online.
Absolutely.
And, you know, and so speak to that a little bit about sticking to what your plan is and your overall goal.
No, I appreciate that. I think probably most entrepreneurs can relate to this. I didn't really embrace this idea until now, but our businesses are an extension of who we are.
Right.
Our beliefs, our ethics, our values, our business is an extension of who we are. So for me, yes, we live in an expensive state like California. Like, money obviously matters for our livelihood, but for me, it's not my driving force. My driving force is, what mark am I leaving in this world?
That's right.
What role am I playing?
Yeah.
So if I'm operating from that perspective, then the work I do has to align with that.
That's right.
But if money is my main goal and that's the main thing, man, we could have automated this business years ago and been done. You know what I mean? I would have been literally done. Like, just hire someone to watch the transactions, you know, but we want to build something that will outlive all of us. And similar to your insurance business, you allow people to think beyond today.
Right.
You allow people to think about the future a bit and prepare for it. So exactly. As uncomfortable as the topic may be sometimes for you to have that conversation with people, but for us, again, we wanted to do something that, number one, was going to be a part of the solution of our industry as far as sustainability, as far as building something that has the right values for the manufacturers and how the clothes are produced, you know. But also, can we see ourselves doing this in 20 years? It doesn't mean I'm still working in 20 years,
right? But
it just means, could we build something that can outlive and continue to be generational? That's the word I'm looking for. Can we build something that's generational?
That's right.
You know, because I talked to you about your story about how your father built this business before you did, and being able to see the impact, the life he's able to live now because of the business he built. And to me, the paycheck is great for a job, but for entrepreneurs and for what we're doing, we wanted to build something that's going to be generational. And that means your foundation is going to take longer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you were speaking to that earlier today.
You can't microwave through quality.
That's it.
Ooh, that's a bumper sticker. Okay. It's so true. And then timing is the other part. You know, I mentioned earlier about, why didn't we think about that earlier? I think it was timing. We wouldn't have been ready for image consultant role, subscription model, had we didn't have the infrastructure that we have now in place. And we're still building the foundation. So,
I love it. You know, I never use this platform to speak about the business, but I do appreciate you bringing up the insurance agency.
No, my pleasure,
father
man.
started that back in '77, but there's something that I'm thinking about right now that I do want to say to the audience and make clear about insurance. You know, I insure businesses, right? And I think that a lot of business owners, especially when they're just getting started out, they think about cutting that corner, that expense, right? There's a reason why the insurance industry has lasted for so long. But one of the things that's really important about what insurance means to business owners is that it's protecting you and giving you an opportunity to continue to grow. If you don't get some proper protection for your business, then if something hits, if there's any level of a catastrophe, you start a new business. You're out. You're done.
Absolutely. We can, not to make this longer, but it's a genuine support for what you do, is that when you mention businesses wanting to cut corner in the beginning or cut that cost, it happened to us. So we are approaching year 7 of our business. And then around year 3, there was a credit card fraud that happened. And long story short, it was over $30,000. And at that time, that was enough to knock us hard in the business. And we learned a year later that if we had the proper insurance, it could have helped prevented that.
There you go.
So that's the point. You know?
I appreciate that conversation. I
just wanted to be genuine and let you know that it's real.
It's really important to business owners to insure themselves, man. And I'm glad to have had that conversation. So so you told me about the changes in business and life. You know, one of the other things that I was thinking about, Javan, is I remember that you went to school for business and marketing, right? I want to know about some of the tools that you pulled out of there that you're using even to this day in business. And here's why I'm bringing it up, right? Because a lot of folks who want to get into this industry will just say, I'm just going to go to school, be a fashion designer, and I'm going to start a business. I'm going to go to school for just specifically what the business trade is, but not understand business and marketing.
That's dangerous.
Okay? It's dangerous? So that's why I'm asking that question.
So when I was in college for that, there was no social media. This is before social media. So I had started, it was, I believe, 9/11 happened, and then I was in the Middle East. But once I got back is when I started school. So it was 2002. So not even Facebook, okay? Nothing. So it's interesting now, looking back on it, because I had not used my degree. I think I had used what I learned when I started my franchise, but the knowledge was just there. It was just like there in the back pocket to be used. I knew I wanted to use it because growing up in school, you see what the American dream is all about. I'm like, okay, you can just go get a corporate job, but that's it. You're really hitting the ceiling. And then it was like, okay, so what can I do? Sales. Okay, sales. But now I learned this at a young age. I was 15 years old digging trenches on the weekends and pulling weeds, right? And I learned very quickly, I'd rather work smart for my money than hard for my money. Because your body can only handle so much. And it was from that point on is where I kind of went that direction. But from the military forward, it wasn't until I started my franchise when I actually started to utilize my business degree. And then the marketing element as well. It helped with creating the corporate structure. The corporate brand for that shoe cleaning company and merchandising and marketing their business. Same thing with the clubs I used to run back in the day. That's another life. But same thing there, creating the marketing material and then promoting it. So I guess throughout the years I've used it, but I haven't used it more than I have here with Meraki. It's definitely, it was worth it. But I think too, the experiences between then and now, in business and just in life in general, I've grown and learned a lot more. And then having to adopt and learn the whole social media marketing way of things and how all of that is just as relevant now as it was then. So did I answer the question?
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. Because I think that, you know, I'm not saying everybody's got to go take business classes and all of that, but we do have to understand how serious business is. And even when we're talking about, you know, the credit card fraud and you know, all of this stuff, it seems like I get to do what I love every day kind of thing, but there's business involved here too. And do you know the ins and outs of that? You know, whether you go to school or wherever you find it, wherever you're learning it, learn business.
Yeah. The thing I was gonna add on real quick for marketing is that I've learned more and more that marketing is a different language. Learning to communicate your intentions and your product effectively to the consumer is a different language. Just because you think you have a great idea doesn't mean that that translates effectively to the public. So that's why I love the fact that he loves marketing, and we've learned to really hone in because you gotta be able to communicate your vision effectively to your consumer.
That's game.
It makes a difference.
I love it, man. So what's been your experience though with like the social media age versus the years prior in business? I mean, obviously you're talking about a very visual business model, right? And so it's got to be very useful to be out there in social media. What's been your experience?
Yeah, I think one of the things that I've learned across the board for social media is that it takes consistency. And which is a pros and cons for me because personally, I'm more of a private person. I'm not on social media that much, but it's such a powerful tool that our business model definitely needs it.
Okay.
So we've come to a point now where luckily we have a team. One of our image consultant loves social media, so she's the one that manages it for us.
Okay.
And she got us doing Instagram lives every Wednesday now. Okay. So I love it as a tool, but just like most things, it's good to be used as a tool.
Sure.
Don't let it use you.
100%.
But yeah, it can be, especially depending on what your product or industry is. I think social media has definitely made a great impact for a lot of businesses.
But it has for I mean, I guess now that social media is a term, I guess that's what we're discussing, and when we discuss that, we're talking about a few very specific platforms, right? But what it brings me to is it reminds me of I grew up. I was a disc jockey back in the early '90s, right? And I grew up just in the ending of disco era and in hip hop, right? And the influence that those rappers and producers and everybody involved had on the fads, the culture, the clothing, the drink brands, liquor brands, all of this stuff, right? And so it's been around. That influence has been around for so long. But one of the things about that, though, and we were just talking about this with Mateo, is that a lot of those brands will just be painted on your chest.
Oh, yeah.
And you talk about it. Everything started with the name of the brand, but not necessarily just the luxury and the beauty of it. And so I guess now they're calling it silent luxury or something.
Yeah, some people saying silent luxury or subtle luxury. And it makes sense because to me, that's actually some of our favorite clients. They're like subtle luxury. They want quality. They want things that fit them well, that complements their lifestyle, but they're not trying to wear the big name across their chest, and they're not trying to broadcast it. But because the people that know, they'll know. You know what I mean? I'll give you a small example. Like this is a custom piece that was gifted to me by one of our tailors. So these buttons here are what you call functional buttons.
Okay.
So custom pieces have them come standard. But most suits or jackets, these are fake buttons. So the people that know custom, as soon as they see my button, they know. But it's not flashing here, Meraki Allure. It's not flashing my name. No, it doesn't need to.
It doesn't need to.
Feel the jacket, you'll know.
You
know what I mean? You feel the jacket, you'll know. So, but I think it makes sense. Of course, everything has its reasons. You know what I mean? When you study psychology and why people do what they do. But to me, it's one of the things that really allows me to work with people that truly value that. You know what I mean? They want quality. They want personalized things, but they're also not trying to be the loudest guy in the room, the loudest guy or woman, lady in the room. You know what I mean? similar to how I met you. You were dressed very sharp, but it wasn't about being loud.
No.
It was about making a personal statement for your own brand, no matter where you walked into.
Yeah. I was living in my own comfort.
Exactly.
This is what felt good today.
Yeah. Well, what's comfortable for you is a different standard than some people. So,
I appreciate that. Right on.
So.
Right on. Well, thanks for breaking that down for me. Because I've always been that way, but I never put a term to it. Subtle luxury, silent luxury, anything like that. But I never wanted to be anybody's billboard. I just, I'm not getting paid to do it.
But it's true. It's true. But again, not knocking any companies. I know they have their reasons. But I thank you to your team again for inspiring that conversation about subtle luxury, because it's a great movement. But at the same time, if you think about it, that's what the term gentleman and lady and class, that's where it comes from. You know what I mean? Like, him and I, we always talk about like the James Bond movie. He's always the gentleman.
Yeah.
But he's not like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, even the car he drives doesn't have like a big logo on it, but you know the car is quality.
Right.
You know, so to me, one of the things that we try to really be adamant about, even on our designs, is create more timeless pieces. Can you spend this valuable amount of money with us and be able to rock this outfit or this piece for a longer amount of time? Because that's another part of sustainability that people don't realize, is that now fast fashion has promoted to people to basically buy new clothes every few weeks.
Yeah.
Because they go bad that quickly. You know, they won't last you a year or two. You know, but what about you spend this value here and then you're able to enjoy that piece and it still looks new.
And you can wear it years later.
You know, James Bond is still wearing the same slim-fitting, classy suit. And how many decades has that been going on?
50 years plus.
Wow.
You know, so...
This podcast is brought to you by YourInsurancePlace.com. Owning a business is hard work. You put your blood, sweat, and tears into it every single day. You need a partner who understands the ins and outs of insuring small to medium-sized businesses. For over 40 years, our California Property and Casualty Insurance Agency has insured businesses just like yours. We've seen it all, and we've learned a thing or two about what it takes to keep your business protected. That's why we offer free policy assessments. We'll take a look at your policy and let you know if there are any gaps in your coverage. Let us help you to protect what you've worked so hard to build. YourInsurancePlace.com.
We're here to interrupt your regular podcast listening and ask you to join us at Odd Pairing Podcast.
Yes, it's Paige and I, and we are here every week now on Fridays. And we talk about adult beverages in the community, a little bit of the history of it, and we are just going on a nice little journey. And you can hear other people's drinking stories. So why wouldn't you want to listen?
That's the best part.
That is the best part.
Cheers.
But again, everybody has their lane. So that would be to the viewers is just figure out which lane you want to be in.
Yeah.
And honor that. You know what I mean? Like Target has its branding and marketing. Walmart has its branding and marketing. And then Food for Less has its branding and marketing. They all sell food, but they speak completely 3 different languages. So which lane do you want to be in? And that's okay. There's nothing wrong or right, but just picking the lane and being, to me, that's another thing I'll share with viewers about you is that it's all about authenticity. Like whatever lane that you're in, honor that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we were talking to you about how busy you are, but to me, it works so well for him because that's who he is. He genuinely loves connecting and pouring into people, and that's where he is, but it's authentic.
Right.
Versus some people, they're like, I just want to fill my schedule up, and then they pass out, you know, because they can't do what he does. You see what I'm saying? But as long as it's authentic, you also operate and you show up differently.
Right on.
You know, so anyways, man.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
How long you guys been working together in this business, in Meraki?
So coming up on 7 years with Meraki.
Okay.
And then before that, but we've been friends for 15 years plus.
What have you guys learned about each other
Great question.
in the last 7 years?
Go on. Okay. Do you want to start?
No, you go first.
So
Really good question.
I appreciate Mo so much more in the business and in my personal life because I've done marketing degree, the business degree. You can throw it away because what I've learned in the last 7 years of operating this business and in my personal life, it's all about how you show up, right? And that was one thing, being authentic about who you are, but also playing to your strengths, knowing about your weaknesses, working to improve those things, but be who you are. And then it's also, what are you portraying to the world? Now that you're in the public light, how do people view you? What's in your past? What's in your personal life? Because those things, when you're in the public eye, those things will come to light regardless.
Sure.
So are you being the same person in private as you are in public? And then also, it's that as well. It's who is in your circle, who, because things in your personal life will affect your business life. And it's so true. And then it's properly communicating, how to, in an email, when I'm sending an email out to a contractor or a teammate, somebody working with us, people know who I am. They know how I am in person, and they enjoy my company, this whole thing. But when it's text or when it's email, they're not seeing the same thing. So one of many things that I've learned from Mo is being able to make sure that I'm appreciating them, and then going into whatever the situation is, but then reaffirming our appreciation for them and just the quality that they bring. So it's keeping the personal element involved. And just having that as a reminder, I'm remembering to be careful on how I communicate with people. And in person, I learned how to do that because I was in sales. So I learned how to build bridges. I learned how to, work with people, meet new people, find commonality, and become a friend. But on paper, text, email, I was a shark on paper.
Okay.
If I sent an email to a manufacturer, like they changed their tune when they were talking to me because they knew I meant business. But I had to put a little more of me, a little more of that softness in there. That way you're getting a well-balanced businessman versus just a cold-hearted shark, know.
And you're probably having, that probably elongates your relationship.
Oh yeah, definitely. So, because now it's not just somebody that works with you, they enjoy working with you, and and then also too, it aligns, it'll align with vision and where you're going together, working in business together.
Or it'll
show
its head and just say, hey, we don't need to work together.
Yeah. And we've had that in the past too.
That could happen, and that's okay. But better to know earlier than later.
Yeah, exactly. And then, it's how am I showing up? I can't represent a fashion brand if I'm dressed in gym shorts and, Nikes and, a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Now I've had to finesse that throughout the years because of having a job on top of working the business. In sales, I'm dressed a certain way. But how was I fitting more of the business element into my personal life? It was James Bond, and I think I mentioned this in the initial interview we had, where it was James Bond for me. I grew up without a dad, so I'm like, okay, what guys am I looking at that align with how I want to dress or how I want to appear?
Yeah.
There's a famous actor, Morris Chestnut. Yeah. That was the kind of smooth, but with the James Bond vibe. You know what I mean? So GQ. The way they dressed, that was how it was for me in high school. And then I kind of lost my way a little bit there. But finding out what works for me. I love wearing vests.
Yeah.
Oops. I run a little warmer, so I love wearing a vest. I don't like my shirt showing really. Now, when you go custom, that's a different story. But I like wearing a vest. I like to be able to move around in what I'm doing because most of the time I'm working, but I still want to look presentable.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So that I'm gathering that you're saying everything that you said that you learned about yourself or learned to do for yourself, you're saying that he embodies those things. So that's what you learned about him as well.
Yeah. Last point on that. So in the last 7 years, and this actually kind of goes from before Meraki was formulated, it was kind of what helped get us to starting this thing, was he and I used to hang out after selling insurance, right? And me, I was usually coming from work, and you all see how he dresses.
Yeah.
So I can't be walking downtown with him in a polo and jeans, right? So he had me go to his closet, and everything he picked out for me out of his closet, I got compliments on it left and right.
Of course.
So we were having that conversation one night. It was just like, you should start your own clothing brand, call it Mo's Closet. That was a joke, but it's maybe Mo's Reserve. His custom, that could be a signature thing with Meraki, but that was another big part of it too. Yeah.
What you learn about Javan?
Oh man, business, similar to real life, is like relationships.
Sure.
What I admire, respect them. One of the things that I admire and respect the most about him, he's one of the most vision forward people that I know. Because you can never come to him with a big idea and then leave as it is. He's gonna always push it to the next level.
Okay.
So, but also the other part of the things that I learned from about him through the journey of working together is that he's one of those people that the minute that he sees the vision in something, or the minute he becomes passionate about something, he'll naturally just go at it for hours.
Yeah.
But he just needs to figure out the parameters and then the details. And once it's on, it's on.
Yeah.
He's going to just work at it effortlessly, And then the thing that he talked about, communication, that's something that we've all learned to grow through, because we're representing a high-end brand. We got to be conscious of how we connect and communicate with people. But as a friend, one of the things that's unquestionable about him is his heart, the way he gives.
Okay.
What I mean by that is, as other entrepreneurs are watching this, whoever your business partner is or whoever you work with, making sure that you guys are aligned on values and ethics and things.
Right.
Because when life hits, as it will,
sure,
how do you operate from there?
Yeah.
And I'm immensely grateful that I get to do this journey with a great friend of mine that it's unconditional. We said that we're going to make this happen and we're going to go as hard as we can. And that to me is a tremendous gift, because when you go through so many different seasons of the business as we have, there's no way you could do that with someone that's halfway in.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So I think that's one of the greatest gifts of our journey, is that we've never had like the quitting conversation. It's more like, oh, that's cute. You're thinking about that. Oh, you're thinking that's cute. So he has a thing that we joke about. We call it the unmotivational speech, where basically he's like, what are you going to do? Like go back and tell our parents, our families that you gave up? Like, how cute is that? Our company slogan is live in your Meraki. Yeah. He's like, live in your failure. Like, how does that sound? So that's the way that it is that he just also has a very natural humor of just going through life, which makes it definitely a light thing. But that was a really good question, man.
Where'd you get that from? You get that from the military? I know your mom has persevered over.
Yeah, my mom. I'd say it's my mom over the military. It's like, and I think that's where I get that from. That tenacious, gung ho. I see the vision. Let's go for it.
Yeah.
There is no quit. There is 0% doubt that this is going to work.
Yeah.
It's a thought in your head. Why wouldn't it work? We put people on the moon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything that it is now. And yeah, I attribute that definitely to my mom. But then also too, everybody has a pity party, but how long are you letting that pity party last?
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
That kind of time.
right.
Zeke was like, I'm too busy. I got a meeting in 2 hours. Hey, man, text me your pity party.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Send me an email.
Yep.
I'm too busy.
Yep. Some people don't have time for that, right? But when, like when that credit card fraud happened to us, that definitely, that hurt. Yes. But again, it was back to, are we living in a Meraki? I mean, we asked for this.
Yeah.
When you start a business, you're asking for that.
Yeah.
You can't have the level of success you want and be in the state that you're in.
Sure.
And not expect to go through things that are going to be tough, you know?
Well, that's the whole thing. I mean, especially, I've got children and even in my childhood, somehow or another, it was ingrained in me. So I guess it maybe came from my family as well, but everything. And I know this may sound like an overstatement. I don't believe in failure. I believe in experience. It felt like a failure. It hurt like hell. But there's something you learn from, and you're going to do better next time.
Yeah.
That's, everything.
Yeah.
It can be the worst thing. Yeah. And it's just a chance to, okay, I learned from that.
Yeah.
And man, they better watch out for me now because I know about the thing that they haven't been through yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how I live.
No, I love that perspective. One of our mentors says that he looks at it as collecting data. He's just getting experience, to your words. What can I use from this experience that can be valuable?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I love that perspective.
Yeah, man.
For sure, man.
I love it, man. I think you all got that perspective.
Yeah, that's one of the other things, too, that we've grown through, even in this last year, is everything's an opportunity of growth. And then, what was the other point? People see failure a lot of times in business and they think, oh, I'm doing something wrong. No, you learned how not to do it, and let's pivot this way and let's change this way. And then it's about perspective too. So I think I lost my
There are a lot of people like that though. I mean, that keep going back and making the same mistake over and over again. Yeah. And then so that's when you talk about the circle again. You want to surround yourself with those kind of people, because what's happening there. So yeah, I mean, be careful with that, surround yourself with that kind of thing. But if there's everybody else, I mean, you get it. Hey, if it happened to you once, that's okay. You know what I'm saying? But I am absolutely a forward motion only person. Forward motion only. But I appreciate you guys, man. I appreciate you guys giving the insight. Here's one more thing I'd ask for from you. I'd like to hear about your 5-year plan.
Yeah, thank you for having us. The 5-year plan for us, we just talked about this a few days ago, is really to solidify and expand our online presence, including our image consultants, aka our salespeople across the country and overseas. But also 5-year plan for us means to start tapping into the international market more consistently, which means to have some stores internationally as well.
Okay.
But for us, strategically, the goal is to have 7 strategic locations in the U.S., like New York, Chicago, L.A., and then go 16 locations internationally outside the U.S. within the next 5 years. But right now, the priority is to solidify the online presence because that's what we've done since day one. Once that's solidified and we get the right funding and structure in place, then we can start looking into our high-end store experiences where you can come in, have a drink, and get your measurements done, and go through your fabric books, and then give an entire exceptional experience to people in the physical space.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah, man. Come have some wine with us.
Oh, you know I will, man. I will, man. Yeah, right on, man. You got your eyes on the prize, and that's a beautiful thing. Again, man, I really appreciate you guys being here. And as we say back in the day, classing up the joint.
Thank you.
Why don't you tell folks where they can find you, about some contact information?
Yep. So MerakiAllure.com, that's where we're at Meraki Allure. That's all of our ID badge for social media. Meraki Allure, Meraki Allure, Allure. And then, yeah, our fashion show will be coming up here in June. That's also our 7-year anniversary. You know, there was a kid the other day telling me about our businesses. He's like, yeah, I learned that most businesses that start up fail in the first year, and so many percentage fail after the 3 to 5 year mark, and we're approaching 7 years now. And so, yeah, we've dealt with challenges, but we're pushing forward, because this is a forever thing. This is not here today, gone tomorrow.
Right.
So, legacy, live in your Meraki.
That's it. That's it, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for having us, man. And it's always a pleasure. You have definitely have crafted your skill in connecting with people, and I'm excited to see what happens next.
I love it, man. Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate you guys being here. You guys are amazing folks, and I'm happy to have you in my network, you know, personally, business, or in any other way. And if there's anything that I can provide or give to you guys, then I'm here for it, man.
My pleasure.
You guys absolutely deserve anything that's coming to you.
Yeah.
Pleasure.
We appreciate you.
Yeah.
All right. Same business, different day.